Hey, Dr. Karen Can here. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. This topic that we're talking about today is Dimensional Convergence Part 2. About 3 months ago, I mentioned it, and I'll put the link below this video as well so you can listen to what I said originally. But basically, it looks like with this whole ascension expansion process that we're all going through where we're elevating our vibration and it all sounds great on paper, we are actually going through something that Source named, or that I was asking Source what to call it, dimensional convergence. And when I'm talking about dimensions, there's many different definitions of dimensions. So in this particular case, the dimensions refer to a different space-time or time-space than what dimension we are currently living and embodied in. So dimensional convergence means that multiple different time, space time are converging into one. Now, I think I likened it to one of the superhero movies, Thor, where they had, I think, the 9 realms, in alignment. It's something like that. And some people can have symptoms related to that, which I talked about in the first video. But today I was kind of surprised when I asked Source, what to talk about this week. It was this topic again, and I thought, I wonder why. Well, I guess we need more details. So there are certain time, space, time places, if you will, that we have completed dimensional convergence. In other words, our world and their world are converged so that we could connect, communicate, touch, feel, see the folks, the beings in those dimensions as if they were just you and I on the street. Now, that being said, if they are non-human, if they're on the planet, if they have some sort of device or, for lack of a better term, like a holographic, projection, something like that, the way our minds, can trick us into seeing and feeling whatever it is that is projected, we will not necessarily be able to see them different from humans. And there are a lot of beings from around the galaxy, beyond the galaxy and the universe, that do look very human-like or humanoid. And there's others that completely don't. So now you might ask, well, which seventh dimensionals are you talking about? Now, there may be many, many different species. However, I believe that at least one of my quote unquote past lives, I have been living in a seventh dimensional plane of existence. So again, there are many, many species. However, in this timeline, the seventh dimensionals that I've had connection, contact, whatever you want to call it, because I don't want to be negative here, they have been reptilian. So reptilians get a really bad rap because there are definitely some reptilians that have done what we would consider very bad things, in our timeline. And other people call, another species Draco. And the Draco also have done not so great things either. And if you've ever watched Jupiter Ascending, you kind of sort of get an idea of what's going on. That being said, okay, not every person in a particular dimension or even a particular species is evil or bad. And bad, good, that's all polarity stuff. I think at the end of the day, it's about what works and what doesn't work. And when it is what works, that means what works that is pro-life, pro-harmony, pro-freedom. That's what works. What doesn't work is subjugation, control, slavery, trafficking. Those things don't work, and they're not sustainable. And the funny thing is that even if, I've had so-called negative run-ins with entities that have been attached to or controlling some of these so-called negative seventh dimensionals in the past. You know, interestingly enough, where we resist being controlled and enslaved, well, some of us, there's a whole bunch that don't mind at all, apparently. They can also be controlled and enslaved. So, so sometimes we think, well, the bad guys doing all this bad stuff, It's like, there may be other things, whether that be AI or who knows what, right, that can control their behavior as well. So, how can we judge? Now, I have not yet, well, I live in a small town, but I have not yet seen with my physical eyes in this dimensional convergence a being that looks like a reptilian with a long tail or anything like that. I think it'd be kind of cool. There are good reptilians as well, because when people get scared, and we're conditioned to be scared because of what we see on TV, Star Trek, for example, Captain Kirk, one of the scariest episodes I still remember is this, crocodile looking guy, that he had to fight. He was super strong, and I can't remember that. I know some of you know which one I'm talking about, right? That was really scary when I was a kid. But there are, loving and positive reptilians as well. And for those of you that don't believe that's true, it's fine. You can believe whatever you want. I'm just coming from my own personal experience because I have had, although I couldn't see them with my physical eyes, we could communicate through divine muscle testing and intention and focus and things like that. There have been some that have asked for help. They've asked for help to erase and delete some of the cultural story and energies that have weighed the whole species down, if you will. And we've had similar things in humanity, right? So we have to be careful about feeling like one-upmanship, like we're better than they are, or we're holier than that. You know what? Look at our world, okay? There's a lot of fighting still among humans. You could blame the aliens to some degree, but it's like, hey, there are good aliens, there are not so good aliens, and we allow it, right? We allow it if there is things that aren't so good happening. So this dimensional convergence source wanted me to talk to you again about that because we have completed the convergence with the seventh dimension. And we're about 80% as of this recording, 80% into the eighth dimension. Now, I have had interactions with those in 8th, 9th, 12th, 11th, I think. But it's not like, again, it's not like I've seen them, right? But theoretically, through my understanding, current understanding, is that if we are totally converged with the seventh dimension, we should be able to communicate, see, hear, feel, touch. Those that are not holographically projected, those beings from that particular dimension with ease, with our outer vision. So maybe I have to go to a bigger city for that, but haven't found any yet, not where I live. The other piece that Source wanted me to communicate to you was about unity. So this convergence is about unity. So unity, so I was asking unity of what? Like unity of all humans, unity of all like star people and humans, and I kept getting no. It was the unity of all things and beings. The unity of all. So that made me think about the singularity. So when I was, checking in with Source, I got a yes for that. So singularity in life, singularity in unity. So we're coming to that singularity through this convergence, but experiencing it embodied as opposed to when we're in spirit form. I can't really, explain it. I think we'll have to just experience it to see what that is like. But for whatever reason, Source wanted me to communicate that to you. So one of the things I wanted to do today for the TOLPAKAN Healing Activation this week is really to help everyone, including myself, release whatever conditioning we've had around other non-human species, the judgment, the conditioning, You know, we've been conditioned to be in fear. When we're in fear, we're controllable. So even if you don't think you're in fear, can't hurt to do the activation, right? If you want to receive, you can just make that intention to receive. And one of the healing teachers recently, the way he says the word conditioning is conditioning, like we are conned, and I thought that's pretty good. Yeah. So in my testing over the years dealing with entities and alien interferences, which TOLPAKAN healing, my healing modality is, very good at addressing. And we've had, like I said, helpful and positive alien support as well. What I've noticed is that, we can be in harmony with all beings, even though it's hard to believe right now, because it looks like so and so is going to war with so and so, and it's this game of war. It's this manipulation, if you will, of what you see. So we do have to be really discerning, and it is challenging these days. It really, really is challenging. There's many, for example, healers, teachers, very famous people who I trusted, who I've read their books and, and gone to workshops and things like that, only to realize now in this space where we are up against a wall, if you will, humanity, and we have to make choices, and the choices sometimes are difficult choices. Are we going to be pro freedom and pro love and pro harmony, or are we willing to subjugate ourselves for a paycheck, for money, for fame, for any of those things that we used to think, oh, I would never do that, right? Well, here we are with unfortunately, lots of teachers in the spiritual space, thought leaders and things like that, who I guess are afraid to lose everything they have. Because if they spoke out and if they took a stand, would they be attacked? Probably. They have a big following. Yeah, and would they lose everything? Or maybe they've already been threatened to lose everything. The answer is probably yes. But what if we could let go of our attachment to losing everything and be willing to lose everything? Wouldn't that be powerful? It could not be controlled then. So we can do a healing on that as well. So let's do the healing on, first of all, removing the conditioning related to other non-human beings. And by the way, this is an aside, but it's related. The other day I was tearful as I was watching my friend in Canada, who's been in Ottawa the whole time through the Freedom Convoy, trucker convoy in Canada, and filming every day, live streaming, and just sharing with us the news, what's really going on. She is so brave. Her name's Kristen Nagel, and she was literally following the CBC, who's the big, the big mainstream media in Canada, who I used to adore. I thought CBC was amazing, especially after I moved to LA for a while and watched, the news there. And I thought, wow, they call this journalism, So, but, find out that, yeah, she's following the CBC, and they're they've got their story and their narrative, which is not really what's going on there. And not only that, she was filming them filming, which was really funny. And she's making commentary like, they've got the camera pointed over here where there's only 3 people, but not over here where there's several thousand, stuff like that. Anyway, but I was tearful because I was seeing this struggle that was happening, that the people in the front line were holding the line and being pushed and shoved and beaten and pepper sprayed. And my friend is divinely protected. I knew she was going to be okay. It didn't mean that I wasn't concerned for everyone there, but somehow she was, I don't know, she just knew to turn the right way, and everyone else got pepper sprayed but her. And when the law enforcement person, whoever that is, whether they're from Canada or not Canada, who knows, pushed her down against a brick barrier, a concrete barrier, and there was a fence. I mean, she couldn't really go anywhere, you know what I mean? And she could have been really hurt. Two people just magically just picked her up over the fence and she was safe. So, why am I telling you this story? Well, um, sometimes it's difficult to know what to do in a situation, and sometimes it's easy for us to, go, well, you should have done this and you should have done that, and that's another form of judgment, and again, another form of conditioning, right? Unless you and I are there, what do you got to say? And the media is there to, unfortunately, the mass media are there to fuel thought, fear, and fuel whatever it is to get their way. And one of the things that I did after watching this and was really kind of feeling a little down, I knew it was temporary, but still I was feeling down just to witness what was happening to my fellow Canadians and my friend, and everything going on there, and people still believing the mass media about what was going on. And of course, they're not on Instagram or Facebook, so otherwise they may know, what's really going on. As I picked up this book, so Conversations with God, Book 4. Now, this was written in 2017, but you would swear it was written for us right now. Now, I've read the first 3 books, absolutely loved it, changed my life. Neale Donald Walsch is the bomb, still love him. And, Awaken the Species, definitely get a copy of this. It talks about highly evolved beings. And the funny thing is, maybe that's why I like it, when God talks to Neale about things, and Neale has lots of questions, very inquisitive about, aliens and things like that. The answers that God gives is completely in alignment with the answers that I got when I asked Source. So I was like, oh, I feel kind of validated. Anyway, maybe that's why I like the book. Yes, so there are good, so-called good aliens and so-called not so good aliens. Again, we're polarizing, but the idea is, does it work? Doesn't it work? Is it in harmony? Not in harmony, right? So definitely want to share that great resource. And after reading a chapter in this book, I felt this uplifting, because I was feeling a little down, seeing the violence, seeing what's going on, seeing this one-sided thing going on, and knowing it was for the highest and greatest good, but still it was really difficult to watch, very disturbing. And when I was reading this book, it just really helped me, reset my state. And it was so inspirational, motivational. So I wanted to share that with you in case you have a down day or a challenging time. And it's just, the whole series is wonderful. So you might be a teeny bit lost, if you haven't read 1, 2, and 3 first, but it's a pretty quick read. But still, even if you're like, I just want to go to before, go ahead, start it. If you feel a little lost there, you can go and do 1, 2, and 3. But it's a beautiful, beautiful book. So let's do the TOLPAKAN Healing Activation. So the first one, so all you got to do is just feel your body, be in the space, be in the body. Whatever you're feeling is completely fine. We're going to check in, see how you feel afterwards. So the first TOLPAKAN Healing directive we're going to do is around the conditioning of us to fear and be afraid of and automatically judge those that are not like us, like humans, right? Non-humans. So let's go ahead and do that first. Ready? Okay. You can close your eyes if it's safe for you to do that. So feel your body. I now command that all non-supportive, negative beliefs, thought forms, ours or inherited or absorbed from other people, related to other non-human beings, be healed and resolved in the highest and best way, all directions of time, with ease, speed, and grace. Thank you. So just go ahead and feel the body. Just take a moment. Yep, feel the body. I'd love for you to take a note of that and put in the comments afterwards, what that feels like for you. Awesome. Okay, so let's do some more healing activations. Let's do one on harmony as well. Let's do one on harmony and relationships. So again, we're going to focus on, because we're talking about dimensional convergence, focus on the harmony within our own species, but also with others as well in other dimensions. So this might feel like a number of things, okay? So just keep that in mind when you're feeling your body. You ready? Okay, again, you can close your eyes if you'd like. I now command that your relationship with everything and everyone, including all other beings that are non-human and all other dimensions, be harmonized, rebalanced, resolved, and optimized in the highest and best way, all directions of time, with ease, speed, and grace. Thank you. Okay, so let's do the TOLPAKAN Healing Activation around the idea of losing everything. I know this is a little spicy for some folks, and if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. So here's what we're going to do for this activation. We're going to have you do a little bit of the work here. So without necessarily, telling me or writing it down, I want you just for a moment, just to imagine your worst case scenario of losing everything, every material thing, okay? So that could mean losing your family, that could mean losing your home, losing your business, losing your house. I said home, didn't I? Your possessions, your money. What if your bank account was frozen, like some of the people in Canada? What if your email address and your phone number and address and name were posted on Google Maps as a donor to the convoy, and you got a knock on the door from your employer or law enforcement, and they take you away or take something away from you, like whatever your worst case scenario is. Maybe you end up in an internment camp. Like, I'm not saying these are going to happen. I'm just saying, what is your worst case scenario? I want you to just imagine for now what that is. Okay, and then the second thing I want you to do is go ahead and feel it in the body. Where do you feel that? Just let it be there. We're in a safe container in space right now. Don't worry that you're imagining something bad and it's going to happen. You're doing it consciously, because on a subconscious level, you're imagining it already and you're not clearing it. So this way, we bring it up to the surface for clearing and healing. All right, so notice where that is in your body, or spots that are in the body, where that feels. So for me, I feel a little bit of tension in the chest area. Yours might be completely different. Okay, so now we're going to do some TOLPAKAN Healing Activation. Now keep in mind, this is very general. There's a very specific way of doing this through one of our TOLPAKAN Healing protocols in our Level 1 and Light Warrior Revolution training programs. But for now, I'm going to do a very general one for you, okay? So go ahead and close your eyes if it's safe for you to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and do it directive. Focus on wherever it is you feel it in the body. It's now commanded that all energies related to this scenario or these scenarios, whether they be emotions, seed emotions, trapped emotions, negative thought forms, projected thought forms, habitual thoughts, subconscious thoughts, patterns, habits, whether they be other energetic imbalances, spiritual imbalances, dimensional imbalances, whatever those energies are, it's now commanded that they be transmuted in the highest and best way. All directions of time and all timelines where you exist were allowed, with ease, speed, and grace. Any that is not for the highest and greatest good to transmute or flip, go ahead and delete, dissolve, and uncreate them. Thank you. Okay, so we're just going to let that settle in a little bit. Again, this is very quick, but it may be, for some people, very profound, because maybe you were too scared to bring up your worst case scenario. And if you can be brave around that and realize that you've won, when you can, imagine yourself as penniless on the street, whatever it is, nothing to your name, you've lost all your fame, all your relationships, all your money, whatever it is, and you are okay. You are a son or daughter of Source. This physical body is only one of your incarnations. It's not the only incarnation. You live eternally beyond this body. And being in that space and being able to let go, you can be true to yourself and you can be open to divine truth as well. Yes. All right, so I'd love for you to comment in the space below this video on how that feels in the body, what shifts you had, if you had any, and what was that like for you? I know this was a little challenging, but like I said, I was guided to share Dimensional Convergence Part 2, and part of that is, letting go of our attachments and our judgments, and whatever energies are blocking us from being in full harmony with ourselves and also everyone else, including other beings. Okay, some announcements for this week. So on Monday's Light Warrior Radio Show at 12 noon, I have the pleasure of interviewing my friend Ken Rolla, and I've asked him to do 3 interviews so this year so far. So he is a wealth of information, that guy, and we were having this talk about pyramids. And he was talking about, how, pyramids are healing. He talked about his experience inside, the big pyramids and what happened to him when he was really sick and how that has to do with scalar energy. And anyway, so I was like, Ken, we got to do this on a show. Everyone needs to know about this. This is so cool. So I definitely would want you to check it out. So it is about the science behind the healing properties of pyramids. And it is at 12 noon Eastern on Monday. So I'll post that link below this video so you can check it out. It's also going to be live. So if you want to call in and ask a question of Ken, he'd be more than happy to answer as well. Last time, I think we ended up getting cut off because we spoke for 2 hours. So it's probably going to be just as long a show because I just so enjoy, and I have so many questions, for Ken. So I thought dividing up, the topics into 3 different shows would be good. And it is good, but it's just, it still took 2 hours last time. So just be forewarned, but it's going to be awesome. I highly recommend that you check out the show about this pyramids. And yeah. I also actually post some links below as well. One of the reasons I got more interested in pyramids is because one of my mentors, Marcus Bird, has a pyramid meditation. And this meditation, he's done several versions of it. I have multiple versions of it for my courses because I learned that from him in Fiji and in the course that I was taking with him. There's a free one on SoundCloud. So this one is for rapid manifestation, and I think I think you might really enjoy it. So check it out. So it's free. So I will post that below this video. You can check it out. Really cool. Okay. And I actually have my own copper pyramid in my house. Of course I do. Okay. What else are we going to talk about today? Yes. Some cool stuff. If you missed my last video last weekend on the series, Healthy Habits, Healthy Life, we talked about breathing. Yes, breathing. So a lot of people like that video, so check it out. I'll post that link also next to this video, and there is actually a playlist. You can check out all the Healthy Habits, Healthy Life series. It's going on for the entire year, 1 a week. Yes. All right, and some upcoming events I want to tell you about. Wealth Revolution Telesummit is launching this week, and the registration anyway, so you can get registered. I will be on Wealth this spring. Very excited about that. April 11th, 4 p.m. Eastern is mine, so block out 4 to 6 on Monday, April 11th. We're going to be doing live healings, mini healings, and presenting a new launch, a new product. And a little secret about I can't really tell you what it's called yet, but I will in the future. So stay tuned for that, but definitely opt in to register for the UL Telesummit. There's a lot of really great speakers, and Darius is, of course, is a wonderful guy, and I really, really enjoy him. So I think you'll get a lot out of it this season. The other little announcement is that Tuesday, coming up next week, we have our monthly mini healing. So this will be the monthly okay. Our monthly mini healings. And it's March 1st on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So that's where we do group and individual healings and demonstrate how the TOLPAKAN healing works. And it's a great way to, get your feet wet with TOLPAKAN healing, see if it's for you, see if it's a good see if you enjoy it, So I really enjoy doing these monthly free mini healings as well. So I will post the link below where you can register for that if you haven't already. If you've already registered last month or in the past, you'll just be sent the reminder email with the Zoom link. It is right now every first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. Yes, so thank you so much for joining me this week talking about Dimensional Convergence Part 2. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and click like, and also share it with whoever you think might benefit from it. All right, until next week, lots of love and bye for now.